people, welcome to Prep Elevate. Today we'll discuss questions on sentence placement. So we are starting with slot 1 and slowly we'll move ahead to other slots as well. Alright, so we have the first question on the screen. Before I start explaining the question, I would request all of you to try the question on your own. Probably try taking a screenshot and try it on your own and come up with an answer and then listen to the explanation. Alright? Okay. So what is the basic rule that we follow for sentence placement? Just remember one rule. Wherever you place the sentence, it should make absolute sense with the sentence prior to it and the sentence that follows. Okay? So उस sentence को हम एक ऐसी जगह पे रखना है ताकि जब हम उसे इस पैराग्राफ में प्लेस करें तो उसके इमीडिएटली पहले जो सेंटेंस है और उसके इमीडिएटली बाद जो सेंटेंस है उसके साथ वो एब्सोल्यूट सेंस बनाना चाहिए. ठीक है, तो बस हम यही रूल एक दिमाग में रखेंगे एंड विल प्रोसीड विद इट. ओके, नाउ just like I've mentioned in all my previous videos as well, that for any verbal question it is always a great idea to skim through. Okay, skimming is a great technique. उससे हमें पता लग जाता है that what are we attempting and is it worth an attempt. So I'm just doing the skimming portion of it. So this is the sentence: philosophical cut, beliefs, values, philosophy, organized, provincial, wrong, admonish, okay, I've come across a difficult word, philosophical writing, citadel, philosophy, values, unremediated doubt. Okay, does not look like a very easy one for me, right? Two things here. The structure of the sentences look complex. बहुत सारे मुझे difficult words I have spotted, right? And second thing is, anything that has to deal with philosophy is always nuanced. उसमें layers होते हैं. It is not always very straightforward. Okay, so keeping these things in mind, probably I would categorize this as a medium level or probably even a difficult level question. Okay, for people who are not that comfortable with language. Now let us discuss how should we attempt. Okay, what is the sentence? This philosophical cut at one's core beliefs, values, and way of life is difficult enough. Whenever we come across such words, I like to call them as indicator words. इसका मतलब ये होता है enough, okay? कुछ तो होगा additionally that is going to follow. So that is why I call these words as indicator words. These help me identify कि exactly ये sentence कहाँ place करेंगे that it is going to make a lot of sense to us. ठीक है? So what is the paragraph now? The experience of reading philosophy is often disquieting. Disquieting मतलब something that disturbs your calm, something that disturbs your sense of calm and serenity. ठीक है? When reading philosophy, the values around which one has heretofore means till date, has organized one's life may come to look provincial, flatly wrong, or even evil. What have we understood from the first two lines? It talks about reading philosophy as an experience which might be disquieting. Okay, it might be a little disturbing. Why? Because philosophy, what is philosophy? It is the way in which you look at life, the values, the principles, probably. So if I throw something at you which is super alien to you, जिसके बारे में आपको पता नहीं है, yeah, which is in reversal to what you've been following till date, how are you going to feel? You're going to not feel at ease. That is disquieting. Okay, and here we have come across a word that it might look provincial. Provincial as a word, province मतलब क्या होता है? Something that is localized, local. Okay, but provincial, metaphorically provincial मतलब क्या होता है? Something that is narrow, constricted or restricted. ठीक है, provincial. So you might feel after reading a certain kind of philosophy that the values that you are holding, the values that you stand for, they are provincial, they are narrow, they are even wrong, flatly wrong. So whatever you've been understanding so far about life, सब गलत है. ठीक है, or even evil. Okay, even evil, that kind of extremities are possible. Here we have a blank. Okay, remember the line that we need to plug in. This philosophical cut at one's core beliefs, values, and way of life is difficult enough. So I'm looking for that additional clue. When beliefs previously held as truth are rendered implausible New beliefs, values, and ways of living may be required. So this is what I just explained. So the values that you hold dear to yourself, once they are, they become implausible, they are rendered implausible. Implausible means hard to believe. Then new beliefs, values come into the picture, which may be required, and ways of living may be required. What's worse, philosophers admonish each other to remain unsutured until such time as a defensible new answer is revealed or constructed. डिफिकल्ट, लाइन भी डिफिकल्ट है, डेंस है, वर्ड्स भी डिफिकल्ट है. थोड़ा थोड़ा करके समझने की कोशिश करेंगे इसे. क्या बताया जा रहा है? व्हाट्स वर्ड्स. अच्छा, ये पढ़ के आपको क्या समझ में आता है? व्हाट्स वर्ड्स मतलब इससे पहले कुछ तो डिस्कस हुआ है यहाँ पे, ठीक है, यहाँ पे कुछ तो ऐसी चीज डिस्कस हुई है जो खराब है. एंड व्हाट्स वर्ड्स, ठीक है, क्या आपको कुछ कनेक्शन समझ में आ रहा है? अभी आई स्पोक अबाउट द इंडिकेटर वर्ड कि दिस माइट बी इनफ, एडिशनली क्या हो सकता है, और इससे खराब क्या हो सकता है, ठीक है. सो दिस टेल्स मी कि देयर इज स्कोप फॉर दिस सेंटेंस हियर. यहाँ पे कुछ तो स्कोप है इस सेंटेंस के लिए, ठीक है. सो व्हाट्स वर्ड्स, philosophers admonish each other. Admonish मतलब क्या होता है? Reprimand. When you reprimand, when you warn that what you are doing is not right, that is admonishing. Okay, admonish each other. So that is a severe way of criticism. Reprimanding मतलब severe way of criticism. Admonish each other to remain unsutured. What is unsutured? If we have any medical people out here, unsutured वहां से आता है. Unsutured is a wound that is left unattended, unstitched, opened, ठीक है, an open wound, ठीक है. So what do philosophers do to defend their own style of writing? They criticize the other one, ठीक है, and they remain unsutured until such time as a defensible new answer is revealed. So till the time I don't have anything strong in my defense, what do? I admonish the other person. Anybody who takes a cut at my philosophy, I admonish the person, severely criticize the person, ठीक है. Sometimes philosophical writing is even strictly critical, that it does not even attempt to provide an alternative after tearing down a cultural or conceptual citadel. Citadel मतलब क्या होता है? What is citadel? Citadel actually, it means a fortress. ठीक है. So पहले के ज़माने में we had palaces. So the extreme boundary, the safest boundary, that was the citadel. That was the last line of defense. उसको क्रॉस करने के बाद एनिमीज कुड कॉन्कर द पैलेस, द किंग्स एंड द क्वींस. दैट वाज सिटाडेल. सो यहाँ पे सिटाडेल का मतलब क्या होता है? कॉन्सेप्चुअल इंस्टीट्यूशन. सो ये लाइन हमें क्या बताने की कोशिश कर रही है कि व्हाई इज फिलोसॉफिकल राइटिंग सो क्रिटिकल? बिकॉज लेट्स से you believe in a certain philosophy, you believe that waking up early in the morning is a great habit, that is what you believe in. But I give you a reverse philosophy. I tell you most of the successful people in the world have been night owls. All right, now we are discussing two different paths of life, two different ways, two different philosophies. But अगर इस तरह से हो जाए, I just throw a sentence at you and I don't provide any alternative, ठीक है. So I'm trying to bring you to my way of thinking. I want you to believe that night owls are successful people, hence your philosophy of waking up early in the morning does not really hold true in my opinion. But then I'm not giving you any alternative approach to this. I am kind of forcing you to believe into what I say. So walk down my lane, मेरी philosophy पे believe करो. I am tearing down your citadel, your fortress, your ways of believing, and I'm not giving you any alternative approach. So kind of my way or highway. ये इस sentence का simplified meaning है, ठीक है. The reader of philosophy must be prepared for the possibility of this experience. So ऐसा experience आपको हो सकता है when you are reading philosophy, that you start out with a way of thinking and then there is a possibility of a different way of thinking, but you are not given an alternative. So either you stick to your thought process or you start thinking in the way I am thinking, but I'm not going to give you any alternatives to that. All right, no explanations whatsoever. So people who are reading philosophy should be prepared for this experience. While reading philosophy can help clarify one's values and even make one self-conscious for the first time. Remember, philosophy is known as the language of the saints. Philosophy के through लोगों को enlightenment मिलती है, ठीक है? That is how they become aware. So while it makes you self-conscious, it helps you question yourself. There are good reasons for believing what one believes. It can also generate unremediated doubt that is difficult to live with. So God forbid if you come across some philosophical way of thinking which is absolutely reverse to what what you believe, then it is very difficult for you to make peace with it. So philosophy can give you a perspective, it can give you that peace of mind, sometimes make you self conscious, but it can also generate this unremediated. इसका मतलब क्या होता है? मीडिएशन तब होता है व्हेन यू रिजॉल्व समथिंग. मीडिएशन क्यों होता है? व्हेन यू रिजॉल्व एन इशू. अनरीमीडिएटेड मतलब अनरिजॉल्व, सो इट कैन ऑल्सो लीव यू विथ अनरिजॉल्व क्वेश्चंस. नाउ ये पूरा पैराग्राफ तो हम समझ गए, इट वाज अ लॉट अबाउट फिलोसफी एंड स्टफ, बट अभी हमारा कोर क्वेश्चन क्या है कि इस लाइन को डालना, वेयर डू यू पुट दिस, इसका प्लेसमेंट कहाँ होना चाहिए. So agar if you are smart enough and you have some time when you are attempting the paper, so बस ये indicator word अगर आपको समझ में आ जाता है ना, so this becomes an easy take. और अगर आप इसको पूरा इन डेप्थ समझना चाहते हो देन इट बिकम्स अ डिफिकल्ट वन. उस टाइप का टाइम आपके पास नहीं होता है प्रॉब्ली एग्जाम्स में. सो इंडिकेटर वर्ड है इनफ, सो ये यहाँ पे जाना चाहिए. ओके यहाँ पे. इसके बाद व्हाट फॉलोज इज व्हाट्स वर्स. सो ये फिलोसफिकल कट तो हो ही रहा है दैट वट एवर आई बिलीव सो फार ऑल ऑफ दैट इज रॉन्ग, दैट इज इविल, दैट इज नैरो माइंडेड. और इसके बाद और क्या हो रहा है कि वी आर नॉट गिवन ऑल्टरनेटिव्स. philosophers admonish each other. So what's worse is the continuation of this indicator word. So अगर इतना समझ में आ गया तो ये क्वेश्चन सॉल्व हो जाएगा. दिस इज वेर इट शुड कम. ठीक है, where you have option 2. ठीक है. now remember look at this, options भी देखो ध्यान से, ये सीक्वेंस में नहीं है, 1 2 3 4 नहीं है. so blank में when you are putting in the options just be a little careful कि where are you putting this option. there is a possibility you make an error. so 2 है ना, आप इसको 2 मार्क कर दोगे which happens to be option 3, blank number 3. so ये छोटी छोटी चीजों के लिए थोड़ा केयरफुल रहने की जरूरत है. ठीक है. I've spoken a lot about this question. I hope you've understood. so अभी next question. ठीक है. this looks comparatively brief. ठीक है. it looks like a breath of fresh air to me because इतना philosophy discuss करने के बाद this looks like this is going to give me some breathing space. so slot 1 में वो 2 questions आए थे. ठीक है, philosophy and this one. so first take में तो मुझे लग रहा है this is definitely, अगर मैं compare करूँ I would like to go ahead with this. time बचे तो I'll go ahead with the philosophy one. ठीक है. ठीक है, same drill, skim करेंगे थोड़ा सा, अंडरस्टैंड करने की कोशिश करेंगे वेयर इज दिस कमिंग फ्रॉम, वेयर इज दिस हेडिंग, एंड देन विल ट्राई एंड मेक सम कनेक्शंस. ठीक है. आई गिव यू सम टाइम, like look at the question, solve it on your own, and then look at the explanation bit. ठीक है. so I'll start with the skimming process. sentence क्या है? the discovery helps to explain archaeological similarities between the Paleolithic peoples of China, Japan and the Americas. ठीक है. okay, does not demand a lot of explanation and even does not tell me a lot of stuff. ठीक है. पैराग्राफ में क्या है? researchers uncovered genetic link. ठीक है. native Americans, Japanese. ओके, अमेरिका और जापान, जापान तो वहाँ भी था. डिग्लेशिएशन पीरियड. ठीक है. कुछ तो बहुत ही टेक्निकल आ गया यहाँ पे. कोस्टल चाइना, जापान, कुछ तो दे आर रिवॉल्विंग अराउंड चाइना, जापान, अमेरिकास. कुछ रिसर्च हो रहा है. surprised to find ancestral source. okay, projectile points, arrowheads, spears. tools की बात हो रही है probably. हाँ, crafted tools. so tools है यहाँ पे. again अमेरिका, चाइना, जापान. genetics, author. ठीक है. it does not give me a lot of words, does not give me a lot of ideas also. कुछ तो they are doing about China, Japan, Americas. some research is happening and here there are double quotes, so these are statements. so some research, some author has made these statements. okay, researcher, geneticist. okay, ठीक है. so what I've understood is I'll have to place that statement. where do I place the statement? कि immediately prior and immediately following statement के साथ उसका एक link बने and overall paragraph में भी उसका एक link बने. so let's understand. ठीक है. sentences are shorter and the overall length of the passage is also shorter, which is good. The researchers also uncovered an unexpected genetic link between Native Americans and Japanese people. okay, so some research was happening, they uncovered, they discovered that there is a genetic link. ठीक है. अभी The discovery helps to explain archaeological similarities. Kahin to, it looks like if I could put it here, it still makes sense because we're talking about uncovered something and then we are talking about discovery helps to explain. But ये चीज ध्यान में रखना है, यहाँ पे we are only talking about Native Americans and Japanese, and जो sentence दिया है ना उसमें चाइना, जापान, अमेरिका तीनों हैं, तो तीनों के बीच की सिमिलैरिटी हमें ढूंढनी है. सो हियर ऑल्दो इट लुक्स लाइक प्रॉब्ली सेंस बनेगा, बट फिर वो तीन चीजें मिसिंग है, तीन एलिमेंट्स नहीं है यहाँ पे, हमारे पास दो एलिमेंट्स है अभी तक. लेट्स सी कहीं बेटर प्लेसमेंट हो सकती है अगर तो. ड्यूरिंग द डीग्लेशिएशन पीरियड, डीग्लेशिएशन पीरियड कौन सा होता है? ग्लेशिएशन इज व्हेन ग्लेशियर्स आर फॉर्म्ड, डीग्लेशिएशन इज व्हेन द मेल्टिंग ऑफ ग्लेशियर्स हैपन. ठीक है. Another group branched out from northern coastal China and traveled to Japan. Okay, so एक ऐसा period आया, there was another group which branched out and it traveled to Japan. ठीक है. We were surprised to find that this ancestral source also contributed to the Japanese gene pool. इसका मतलब जो another group which branched out from China and traveled to Japan, the ancestral source also contributed to the Japanese gene pool, especially the indigenous anus, says Lee. ठीक है. So although they were not expecting probably that there is a genetic link between this new group and the one we were discussing, but it so happened that there was some ancestral genetic link. ठीक है. They shared similarities. अभी ये words में it should ring a bell. ठीक है. कौन they? Who are the they? They मतलब we are discussing about a group of people, ठीक है, more than one people, and we are also discussing about similarities. वहाँ पे देखो, the discovery helps to explain archaeological similarities. So they मतलब these people of China, Japan, Americas and archaeological similarities. इसका मतलब if I place the sentence here, this should make sense to me. ठीक है. So they shared similarities in how they crafted stemmed projectile points for arrowheads and spears. ठीक है. What were the similarities? The way in which they made their tools, they crafted their tools, their arrowheads, their spears. Remember early people, they were like into hunting, so these were their tools. This suggests that the Pleistocene connection. See, whenever you come across such words, no, ये ऐसे words जो होते हैं, which are a little difficult to even pronounce and read, इनको skim कर देना है. ठीक है, इनको नहीं रीड करना होता एग्जाम कंडीशंस में, सो इनका एज सच यूटिलिटी नहीं होना चाहिए. ठीक है. इफ देयर इज एनी सेंस दैट इट मेक्स, विल कम बैक एंड रेफर. Connection among the Americas, China and Japan was not confined to culture but also to genetics. So this discovery, this suggests that this connection, it was not just about culture, genetics was also involved. So there was this genetic link. And अभी देखो, अभी तीनों लोगों के नाम आ गए, अमेरिका, चाइना एंड जापान. जो वहां पे मुझे मिल नहीं रहा था, वहां पे आई ओनली गॉट नेटिव अमेरिकन एंड जापानीज. ठीक है. तो इससे पहले मुझे इनको प्लेस कर देना है. सो दिस लुक्स लाइक अ डिसेंट गुड प्लेसमेंट. सो ये 3 पे ये प्लेस होना चाहिए. ठीक है. मतलब ये ऑप्शन डी होना चाहिए. अगेन सीक्वेंस इज नॉट सॉर्टेड, तो ये 1 2 4 3 है. हाँ, ये 1 2 3 4 नहीं है, तो यहाँ पे यू हैव टू बी अ लिटिल केयरफुल. ठीक है. लास्ट लाइन क्या था? ओके, सेज सीनियर ऑथर. ओके, अगेन ये नाम, दीज आर कॉम्प्लिकेटेड वंस. ठीक है. इसको रीड नहीं करना है एज सच, कोशिश नहीं करनी है इतनी. सो एन एवोल्यूशनरी जेनेटिसिस्ट एंड द चाइनीज अकेडमी ऑफ साइंसेस. ठीक है. सो लास्ट लाइन में एज सच कोई इन्फॉर्मेशन नहीं था. क्या था कनेक्टर पॉइंट, क्या था यहाँ पे सेंटेंस प्लेसमेंट में? पहले तो 3 कम्युनिटीज, 3 different kinds of people we had, China, Japan, Americas, वो हमें मिलने चाहिए थी. दूसरा there was word archaeological similarities. तो आर्कियोलॉजिकल सिमिलैरिटीज का जो एग्जाम्पल है वो जस्ट इमीडिएटली उसके बाद यहाँ पर डिस्कस किया गया है. तो उससे पहले हम इंट्रोड्यूस करेंगे और फिर हम एग्जैक्ट क्या सिमिलैरिटी है उसको डिस्कस करेंगे. दैट इज वेयर दिस इज वेयर वी प्लेस दिस सेंटेंस. तो ये कहाँ था? ऑप्शन नंबर डी में. ठीक है. सो दीज आर द 2 सेंटेंस प्लेसमेंट क्वेश्चंस वी हैड इन CAT 23 slot 1. Hope you've understood both these questions. Practice a lot of such questions, okay? Otherwise, you are not going to be very comfortable with them. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you in the next video.